Welcome to Gear Science. In this video I'm going to show you some very basic teamwork strategies that can help you beat even very skilled opponents. Learning how to use your numbers around cover effectively is going to be an incredibly crucial skill in Gears. Step 1 is that you and your teammate need to take wide angles around cover so that your opponent has nowhere to hide. This is called a pinch. Here I'm already moving to the right, but as soon as I see my teammate also move right, I know that I can easily out-angle my opponent. Because I know my distances and angles, I don't need to rush this fight at all. Here's a nearly identical scenario, but in a King of the Hill match. I see the Lancer fire on the right, and so I know I can move the other direction to angle him out. Another variation is to have one player anchor while the other person rotates wide. Now they can't stay where they are, but they can't move out either without being punished. Here I'm waiting for my teammate to push in from the left, but I can see that he's not quite ready. We're going to go ahead and reset first. Now we can push up together. My teammate's got the right side covered, and I just need to make sure that the opponent doesn't push up on the left. At the same time, I'm trying to make sure that the opponent doesn't cut back to the right too fast. Now guys, I need to caution you right now. This is a very dangerous maneuver. As soon as the two of you split up, it means that one of you could be a target, so you need to be aware of that and be ready to adapt. If one of you does get targeted, the simplest solution is to just back up and move away from that fight while your teammate comes up behind them. My teammate and I take a second to reassess our situation, and then we get ready to make the push on the two separate sides. I need to be careful that my opponent doesn't rush one of us in the confusion. Taking my time and playing my angles means that I can easily finish the job. Now we want to set up another pinch on this opponent, but we have to be careful not to mistime it. As soon as I start moving left here, he knows he has to move right. If he rushes one side, we need to be ready for that. I started this as a solo push, but as soon as I see the Lancer fire on the far side, I know all I have to do is hold my angle, and eventually they'll have to come to me. When you're standing on an objective or maybe a power weapon, you also know that the enemy is going to be more eager to get to you. As long as you play your angles, it should be a very similar result. Here a few seconds later, you can see we out-angle this other opponent that's trying to cut us off. I want to point out real quick that you can control a lot of the fight by putting out damage, and then controlling your angles and the timing of your shot. You don't have to rush everything. This is a bigger skirmish, but as soon as I see that I've got support, I know that the pressure is not on me, it's on my enemies. That means I can move nice and slow and make sure I hit my shots and avoid damage while I'm at it. Here I see this guy getting shot in the back, which means he's forced into me. I can hold my shot and make sure I get the one shot down. Now as soon as we establish a cross on this enemy, I make sure I take a wide angle and ensure she has nowhere to hide. Now I find that I'm in danger of getting outnumbered myself, and I quickly pull back. I don't have a great crossing angle here, so I might need to move up. Once I see this teammate moving, I know I need to get in the fight with him. I'm looking to push the enemies out of cover while keeping myself safe by keeping a wide distance. Here I see an opportunity to pinch these players with my teammates. Always watch out for cutbacks and be aware you might become the primary target. You can see I shock out this guy, but the whole point is to drive him into my teammate. Once he's down, I can play in, and I see there's only one guy, so I take my time, I play for damage, make sure we get the angles, and there's no reason to die here. My teammate's on the left, so I know I can put damage out and then move to the right. These kind of pinches happen all the time. You can see here, this player either has to rush the guy that's crossing him or rush me. Nothing else will work. So I just spawned here, but I can already see my teammates in a fight. I cross from this distance, not for damage, but to push the opponent out of cover. Here we've got a team crossing these guys, but honestly, it's not going to do that much if we're all sitting in this one spot. Now I go and play for a wide angle, and we can push these guys out of cover also. I can see the Lancer fire on the far side of the pillar, so I know he has to move to my right. In this clip, my teammate and I have them totally bottled up on this pillar. The only play they can really make here is to rush out at one of us. As long as my teammate keeps his distance, it should be no problem. My teammate got dropped by the server next round, so I'm going to take a minute to show you some ways to avoid getting pinched. Now I put huge damage on the first player, and that's going to force him out of the fight for a minute. Now I can either rush him or change focus to his teammate. I know that there's an enemy up on the balcony, but on my way there I get shot in the back. This means I might get pinched. Now I have a choice here. By putting damage on him early, I kind of throw off the timing of their fight. That makes the one pull back and the other one rush forward. The main thing you're trying to do is isolate a temporary 1v1. Just like before, I put massive damage on one player, and this forces him to either rush me or take himself out of the fight. Now I can isolate the 1v1 with his teammate. You should always be watching for opportunities. When they split up, you want to push one right away. Knowing your damages, distances, and angles helps a ton in these situations. Another common tactic is to run away and then immediately cut back. This move will be more effective against some players than others, but it's always worth a shot. In these scenarios, be sure not to panic. You still have quite a bit of control over the fight. Don't forget that when you double an opponent, that means one of you might become exposed.
Not my first rodeo, you know.
Fights become a lot more winnable when you have the better setups and you just have better anticipation of what the enemy's going to do based on the setups that you provided them. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments if you like this kind of content.